Stand over there.
Now?
Yeah, no, stand. I'll tell you when to stand.
And do I walk around or do I just stay in one place?
Better you can stand in one place.
Okay, in the middle.
Right. Yeah, just a little off center. I'm going to tell them.
مساء الخير، نامسكارم. السلام عليكم وسلام من متحف البحرين الوطني في مملكة البحرين الغالية. من دواعي البهجة والسرور إن أرحب بكم اليوم في هذا الحدث الهام لإنقاذ التربة. معكم في تقديم هذه الفعالية نورة العامر. Good evening, Bahrain. It is with absolute delight that I welcome you today to this historic Conscious Planet Save Soil event. I am your host today, Noura Al-Amir. ضيفنا اليوم سادغورو مؤسس الوعي العالمي Conscious Planet لإنقاذ التربة Save Soil. لقد بدأ رحلته من الدراجة الهوائية من العاصمة البريطانية لندن بتاريخ 21 مارس متوجها إلى الهند، واليوم هي اليوم ال57 في رحلة 100 يوم. Today, the 15th of May, marks the 57th of Sadhguru's iconic 100-day journey across the world to expedite the awareness of and restore soil health. 40 days, braving relentlessly through storms, rain, and snowy mountainous terrain, and sandstorms now, driving ceaselessly with a pizzazz that has the world watching with bated breath. A lone rider at 65, starting from London, crisscrossing through Europe, and now he is here in Bahrain. طبعاً بسبب الحداد الرسمي على وفاة المغفور له بإذن الله الشيخ خليفة بن زايد آل نهيان رئيس دولة الإمارات العربية الشقيقة، تم إلقاء العروض الفنية التي كانت مقررة. In light of the passing of Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, we have omitted the song and dance portions of this event. نود أن نشارك بعض اللحظات التي مرت بها حملة إنقاذ التربة مع Sadhguru. We'd like to share some moments that the Save Soil movement with Sadhguru has experienced so far.
You mentioned that people are still yet to come. Did you say that part? Okay. Okay, anyway. You can just... Okay. Not yet.
Now that all the guests have arrived, we can officially commence the event. معا نتوقف مع دقيقة صمت حدادا على وفاة المغفور له بإذن الله الشيخ خليفة بن زايد آل نهيان. Please join us in observing a minute of silence as we come together out of respect and solidarity for the passing of Sheikh Zayed bin Khalifa, Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. مساء الخير. Good evening, Bahrain. 27 دولة تنتظر سادغورو خلال رحلته. 30,000 كيلومتر بين المملكة المتحدة والهند. برمنغهام، لندن، أمستردام، برلين، براغ، فيينا، ليوبليانا، فينيس، Paris, Brussels, Cologne, Sofia, Bucharest, Istanbul, Tbilisi, Baku, Azerbaijan, Tel Aviv, Abidjan, Amman, Riyadh, and all these cities have hosted Save Soil events so far. And now we're in Bahrain. We're in Bahrain to spread a message today, a message of environmental awareness. Save soil is necessary to maintain life on our planet. وكل ذلك كل رحلة سادغورو ليس فقط لنا بل للأجيال القادمة على أرضنا. فلنتشارك جميعا هذه الرسالة السلمية على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعية باستخدام هاشتاغ Save Soil وروابط Conscious Planet. The world is rallying for Save Soil. Sadhguru is riding, not for you and me, but for our future generations. Helping us spread and share this message on social channels, please use the hashtag Save Soil and tag @Conscious Planet. أدعوكم الآن أن نشاهد فيلماً علمياً قصيراً عن أهمية إنقاذ التربة وأهمية هذه الحملة العالمية. The proverb goes, prevention is better than cure. We are at the cusp of time where every action we perform will either have an affirmative or negative impact for years to come. As occupants of a shared planet, we have the unique opportunity to be part of a solution to crises like soil extinction and desertification. Please see a video we're presenting to you that explains the science behind the Save Soil campaign.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. But what we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy, in most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
From my part, as much as I can contribute.
Sadhguru, and this campaign is so important.
And our planet's future depend on it.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
We commend you for what you're doing. That is why we are happy to sign the MOU.
The science and philosophy that backs the thought behind the movement is tremendous.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
الثقافة في البحرين تهتم بالتربة والأرض وتحاول عبر نشاطها باحترام كوكبنا. ومع شكرنا للهيئة البحرين للثقافة والآثار على مشاركة عبر هذا الموقع المتميز، نعطي الكلمة لسعادة الشيخة هلا بنت محمد الخليفة مدير عام الثقافة والفنون. And now, to take this movement forward and decisively arrive at effective action, it is with immense pleasure that I welcome Sheikha Hela bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, Director of Culture and Arts Directorate, to please come on stage and address the audience.
أصحاب السعادة، حضورنا الكريم، مساء الخير. أنا في غاية السعادة هذا المساء بأن أستقبل معكم في رحاب متحف البحرين الوطني سادغورو، وأن أرحب بقدومه إلينا في مملكة البحرين. وإني سعيدة أكثر بأن أوجه إليه تحية الاحترام لشخصه وتحية الإكبار للحركة النبيلة التي يقودها عبر العالم بجهد مثابر وتكاتف عالمي رائع في حملة أنقذوا التربة، والمسيرة التي تتشرف مملكة البحرين أن تكون اليوم إحدى محطاتها المميزة. ومن موقع المسؤولية الرسمية في قطاع الثقافة يمكنني التأكيد بثقة أننا في مملكة البحرين وبهدى من حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة حفظه الله ورعاه، وولي عهده الأمين الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة حفظه الله ورعاه، ننطلق من الإيمان العميق بحق الإنسان في بيئة طبيعية سليمة، وبحق الأجيال القادمة في تربة تمنحهم فرصاً فعلية لاستمرار الحياة على هذا الكوكب. وفي سبيل إنقاذ التربة نؤمن أيضاً بضرورة السعي الجاد والمنهجي إلى تأمين شروط سلامتها واستدامة حمايتها من التدهور البيئي بهدف الحفاظ على حيويتها لفائدة أجيال المستقبل، وصونا لمصير كوكبنا الجميل، هذه الأرض العجيبة الرائعة التي يرتبط بها وجودنا البشري وتزدهر فيها كينونتنا الإنسانية. ومن هذا المكان المميز الذي يحتضن لقاءنا هذا المساء يمكنني القول أن متحف البحرين الوطني، هذا المعلم الثقافي الغني الذي نفتخر به، هو بمختلف محتوياته الثرية خير من يحكي قصة بلادي عبر كل ما اختزنته وحفظته تربة البحرين على مر الحقب والعصور، منذ حضارة دلمن وما قبلها وحتى يومنا هذا. وكما ورد في القرآن الكريم قول الله تعالى: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وترى الأرض هامدة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبتت من كل زوج بهيج. ولقد لا نجد تصويراً أبلغ ولا معنى أعمق من هذه الآية الكريمة في توصيف حال الأرض وتربتها الكريمة التي تمنح الإنسان فرصة الحياة والنماء وديمومة الوجود بكل ما يمكن أن تعطيه إياه من خيرات وثمار. لذلك كله يسعدنا جداً أن نرى هذه الحملة العالمية الرائعة أنقذوا التربة تتقدم وتتسع وتكتمل حلقاتها نحو تحقيق الأهداف المرجوة، ولتعزيز الوعي بوجوب العمل المستمر من أجل إنقاذ التربة وسلامتها والتخفيف من آثار التدهور البيئي المريع الذي يهدد ديمومة الحياة على وجه الأرض. ولا يفوتني في مطلع هذا اللقاء الجميل بكم أيها الحضور الكريم أن أجدد التحية والتقدير لسادغورو والترحيب به على أرض البحرين، كما لا يفوتني أن أشكر لكم جميعا اهتمامكم ومشاركتكم، وأن أتمنى لهذه الحملة الرائعة كل التوفيق. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, good evening. It's a great honor and pleasure to welcome Sadhguru to the Kingdom of Bahrain. His extraordinary work, his dedication, his passion for Save Soil campaign raises a very important topic that we all have to be very aware of. Humanity needs to join forces supporting the well-being of our next generations on our beautiful planet, and to ensure a responsible act is implemented to protect our soil, allowing it to thrive and to be healthy. From this remarkable landmark, the Bahrain's National Museum, that has an abundance of objects and artifacts from our land, objects that tell our story and the magical layers of history that passed on it. And in reference to the Holy Quran, here's a significant verse reflecting the importance of soil. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And you see the earth barren, but when we send down upon it rain, it quivers and swells and grows of every beautiful kind. Finally, it is an absolute honor to take part in welcoming Sadhguru. I'm confident that his message will touch people from various walks of life, and I hope we can all make a positive change in supporting this campaign. Special thanks to His Excellency the Ambassador of India for all his support, to the wonderful team of Sadhguru, to the volunteers, to the team at the Bahrain Authority for Cultural Antiquities for their hard work, their time and dedication to make this event possible. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
شكرا الشيخة هلا على هذه الكلمة الجميلة. الهند الحاضرة دوما في الحراك الثقافي والاجتماعي البحريني. لها الكلمة عبر سعادة السفير الهندي، فليتفضل. And now it is my honor to invite His Excellency Piyush Srivastava, Ambassador of India, Bahrain, to come on stage and address the audience.
Thank you, Honorable Sadhguru Ji, Your Excellency Sheikha Hala bint Mohammad Al Khalifa, Director of Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities. Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear members of India community, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar, Assalamu Alaikum, good evening to all of you. I am honored to be among all of you who have gathered here to support Safe Soil global movement initiated by Sadhguru Ji. We welcome Sadhguru Ji and his team to the Kingdom of Bahrain for this noble cause. As you all know, we have seen in the film, Sadhguru Ji is here in Bahrain as part of Conscious Planet Safe Soil global movement to create awareness about land degradation and advocate for healthy soil. Sadhguru Ji's Safe Soil movement seeks to activate and demonstrate citizen support across nations as he rides a motorcycle, traveling across 27 nations 30,000 kilometers in 100 days and empower governments to initiate policy-driven action to revitalize soil and halt further degradation. Safe soil is definitely the need of hour, and soil extinction is the gravest threat to the humanity right now. Sadhguruji's visit to Bahrain is taking place at a time when India and Kingdom of Bahrain are marking golden jubilee of establishment of diplomatic relations. And India's 75 years of independence, our history rooted in trade, culture and people-to-people connect dates back thousands of years to Indus Valley and Delman civilizations. Our robust and diverse bilateral cooperation include key areas of environment, climate change, renewable energy, agriculture, and food security. Institutional mechanisms are in place or being discussed to promote our collaboration in these highly relevant contemporary areas. Honorable Sadhguruji, Bahrain is among the preferred destinations for the Indian community. Indian community comprises about quarter of population of Bahrain, a cross-section of which is present here to listen to you. I must say I have been here for 2 years, and I think primarily because of COVID and also otherwise, I haven't seen such a large gathering. Thank you all for coming in such a large number, taking time from your busy schedule. Sadhguruji, it's a vibrant and dynamic community which has contributed to the economic development of the kingdom. Our community is witness to the liberal and welcoming society of Kingdom of Bahrain. This small island has welcomed the Indian community and all expat community with really a big heart. The vision and policies of peaceful coexistence of the leadership and government of Bahrain have provided a conducive environment to the Indian community for them to excel professionally as well as to live happily, peacefully and comfortably in the kingdom. I take this opportunity to convey our thanks and gratitude to the government of Kingdom of Bahrain for all the assistance and support extended for the welfare of the Indian community in Bahrain, particularly the difficult times of COVID-19 pandemic, and more recently for the visit of Sadhguruji to Bahrain, without which this was not possible. In particular, BACA, led by Her Excellency Sheikha Mai, Her Excellency Sheikha Hala, Supreme Council of Environment, other authorities, as well as all the volunteers of Isha Foundation and my team at the embassy. I am sure that all of you are eagerly waiting to hear Sadhguruji. Before I conclude, I would like to thank all the dignitaries and invited guests and all of you for taking time out of your busy schedule and gracing this occasion. I also thank all the community members who have present here and the volunteers in the large number and supporting the Safe Soil movement of Sadhguruji. Thank you so much. May I now invite Sadhguruji on the stage, please. Her Excellency Sheikha Hala. Yeah.
Next to you.
I'll hold the English side, okay?
I hold the Arabic one.
If you can just turn around.
Thank you very much.
If you can just turn around, they want to take the
I think one photo
this way.
with the crowd.
Hey, all of you, come on, and words.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Stage floor is yours, Sadhguruji.
Kala na janati tava jananam Kala na janati tava samapanam Drushto maya tava mahakaraha Yogeshwara Kala Kala Yogeshwara Kala Kala. Namaskaram and good evening to every one of you. Well, on this day, over 2,500 years ago, a man, a seeker named Gautama, who was desperate to know the truth of his existence, had put in 8 years of severe austerities which had weakened his body. He was literally on his last legs of fasting and hurting his body in so many ways. He came near a river which is called Niranjana. Unfortunately, that river doesn't exist anymore. We have killed many rivers in Indian subcontinent, this is one of them. So it was just a little, over 15–20 inches of water flowing. And he tried to cross it, just knee-deep water. But halfway through, he did not have the strength to continue. So he held on to a branch that had fallen there. And we do not know how long he held on. People say it was a very long time. But in his weakness, he might have even a few minutes might have felt like a long time. But he had no strength to take the next step. At the same time, he was not the kind to give it up. So he held on for supposed to be a very long time. And then he realized, what am I doing? What am I doing with myself? To know the nature of who I am, why am I walking all over the place, doing all kinds of difficult things and torturing myself in so many ways, when all I have to do is turn inward? That gave him the strength to take the next few steps, and then he went and sat under the now very famous tree called the Bodhi tree. This was on this day, the full moon is on, today is Buddha Purnami. It's wonderful we are together here on this day. So he sat there, literally last few ounces of strength of his life left within him, sat under this tree. This tree has become very famous now, more famous than him, unfortunately. So he sat there, made up his mind, either I must know the truth of my existence or I will pass this way, I will not get up till I know it. He just sat down with that determination. That day became the blessed day where Gautama became a Buddha. What does becoming a Buddha mean? The word Buddha is not his name. There were many Buddhas before him, there are many after him, there still are many. Bhu means buddhi or the intellect. Dha means dada, one who is above. One who is above his intellect is a Buddha. Well, if you are below your intellect, in India, they will call you Buddhu. If you are in the intellect, you are a non-stop suffering human being. Yes, human beings are not suffering anything other than their own intelligence. The sharpness of their intelligence is cutting them into pieces. Hello? Hello? I'm saying hello thinking you are asleep, I'm not. The only thing that's torturing a human being is their own intelligence. If you had the brain of an earthworm, you would be very peaceful and also eco-friendly. Now with this intelligence, everything seems to be a problem. Whatever you give to a human being, they make a problem out of it. This phenomena of human intelligence, unfortunately, has been more a source of trouble than well-being for most human beings, because every aspect of their life they suffer in many, many ways, not because there is something wrong with their life, simply because they do not know how to manage the complexity of their intelligence, the sophisticated intelligence that's been endowed upon you. Why has it become like this? Buddha means one who is above. If you are above your intellect, if you are above your thought and emotional process or your psychological process, would you know any suffering, I'm asking? Hello? The only two kinds of suffering that you know are physical suffering, mental suffering. Do you know any other kind of suffering? No. Even physical is not a suffering, physical is just pain. Well, pain you can multiply in your mind and make it into suffering. Pain is in the body. What I say now, you must listen carefully, otherwise you will make wrong conclusions. Pain is good for you right now, because most people still have not come to enough awareness that they would even be able to preserve themselves if there was no pain in the body. See, wherever there is no pain in the body, see what you have done. See what you have done to this, what you have done to this, why? Because there's no pain. Suppose there was no pain in your nose, in how many ways you would have cut it in the name of fashion? Hello? You think they wouldn't? Even now, in spite of the pain, they're doing it. If there was no pain at all, as a part of the fashion, you would pull out your stomach bag and intestines on the street and walk like this. Pain has preserved you, yes or no? So, pain is good for you right now. But suffering is something that happens in your mind because you will multiply the pain in your mind. What happened 10 years ago, you can still suffer, yes? What may happen day after tomorrow, you can already suffer. You're quite an expert because what happened 10 years ago doesn't exist right now, but you can suffer that. What may happen day after tomorrow doesn't exist right now, you can suffer that. If you're suffering that which does not exist, I don't want to call you names, but you tell me, hello? If you're suffering something that does not exist, what do you think is the problem? The case. Hello? It's a psychological case. Only solace is, everybody is like this only. That is how it is in the mental asylum. Only the doctor looks crazy, everybody seems to be normal. So right now, this is all the human condition is. So on this day, on Buddha Purnami, the glorious moon is out today, this is Buddha Purnami moon. On this day, Gautama realized that the only way to be free from suffering is to be beyond the mind. Once you're above your physicality and your psychological process, that is the end of suffering. And only when there is no fear of suffering will you walk full stride in your life. Otherwise, every step that you take is a half a step, because the fear of suffering, what will happen to me, what will happen to me, always holding you back. I want you to look at your life carefully. Every aspect of life, whether it's your profession, your personal life, your marriage, whatever decisions you make, Always the fear of suffering is determining what you do and what you do not do, isn't it so? This one thing goes away from your life, you will realize the full potential of what it means to be a human being. People say, Sadhguru, you are a superhuman being. No, this is not about being superhuman. This is about realizing being human is super. Being human is super because even according to the evolutionary scale of things, you're on top of the world. Hello? Hello? Above all creatures in terms of capability and competence, but look at the mess we are making out of ourselves. Hello? Look at the mess we are making out of ourselves as individuals and as a humanity as a whole, and the world and the planet. What a mess we are making out of it. Because our intelligence needs a conscious handling. But right now, our intelligence, we are still treating it in a compulsive manner. You know, the genetic scientists are saying that the difference between you and a chimpanzee, the DNA difference between you and a chimpanzee is only 1.23%. 1.23%, not much of a difference, isn't it? Hello? Not a passing mark for sure. 1.23%, is it a great amount of difference? So I'm saying that is how close you are physiologically to a chimpanzee. But in terms of intelligence and awareness, you're worlds apart from a chimpanzee, and this is your problem. You have an intelligence for which you don't have a stable enough base. Now your own intelligence pokes you all the time. Even if you're alone, you suffer. This means you're in bad company, isn't it? Hello? If you are with me and you're suffering, you can blame it on me. But if you're alone and you're suffering, obviously you're in bad company. If you do not fix that one company, well, you will always live in suffering and fear of suffering. When there is suffering, it is on. When it is not, when you get a respite, there is a fear of suffering all the time. This is why Gautama became very important in the world. He gave methods as to how to be above the activity of our mind. The entire yogic system is just about this, how to be what you are and how to keep what you have gathered. When I say what you have gathered, I'm going to ask you a few questions, will you answer or will you… Hello, all of you, I'm asking all of you there. Yep. Whatever clothing you're wearing, is that you? It is yours, I will not dispute it for now. One day a dispute will come about that also, but right now we will not dispute it, this is yours. Whatever jewelry you're wearing, is it you? No, it is yours, we will not dispute that. That's dangerous. When you were born, you were only this much, huh? Now you gathered this much body, so you obviously gathered it. Is that yours or is it you? Hello? The very body that you carry, is that you or is it yours? It's me and mine, this is a clever ploy. Me and mine. See, anything that you gather, right now, this is a very famous vessel, now I will pick this up. It's famous because it's traveling with me, you know. It's not done anything significant, but now I'll pick up this vessel and say, this is my vessel. You will think, oh, Sadhguru seems to have some problem. But let us listen, everybody says he's very wise. After some time I say, this is me, then you will say, let's go. Because this is dangerous. Because the moment somebody claims that which is not you as myself, there is a serious issue, yes or no? This you're doing every day. Food appears in front of you, food appears upon your plate, you say, this is my food. You eat it, then you say, this is me. There's a serious problem here. Your body, you gathered over a period of time, yes or no? What you call as my mind is a heap of impressions. This also you gathered over a period of time, yes or no? So what you think is you is actually what you gathered. What you gather can never ever be you, it can only be yours at the most. So this body, this mind, if this is not you, what the hell are you? This is what he went on searching, Gautama. He's not from moon, he's from this planet, because yesterday Shekhar was pointing about every wonderful girl around her and saying, this is an angel. I said, don't say this, these are all wonderful human beings. There are wonderful human beings in the world, hello? Everybody who is wonderful, if you change their origin from somewhere else, now there'll be a problem. Human beings will have no aspiration to be wonderful. You know, we are a volunteer organization, over 5,600 full-time volunteers and over 17 million part-time volunteers, so every day people have issues. What are they clapping? I'm talking about my problems and they're clapping. Because running a volunteer organization means nobody's trained for the job, very enthusiastic. They're always on the go, enthusiastic, but they don't know what to do. And you can't fire them for inefficiency because they're volunteers. You run something like this, you will go mad. So here things will be happening, you know, we are like 7 days of the week, 365 days, nearly 18-20 hours a day, every day. So a lot of things happening. So somebody will come up almost every other day and say, Sadhguru, I can't work with this person. Oh, she's horrible, I can't do this, that guy is like that, this guy is like this, I can't work with them. Then I tell them, see, this is the kind of horrible people that exist on this planet. Like this one, like that one, like that one, like that one. These are all the horrible people we have. But if you see that what you're doing is very significant, you have to work with these horrible people. But if you want to work with perfect people, you must go to heaven and today. Hello? Because the problem is not about whether somebody is wonderful or not, the problem is just about, can you get the best out of people around you? Huh? Hello? For this, to get the best out of everybody around you, first and foremost thing is, can you get the best out of yourself, first of all? I want to set a standard for you, will you be okay? Hello? Should we set a low standard for you or a very high standard for you? See, high means a lot of climbing, difficult. High means places where you have not been. I don't want to torture your life like that. Let us talk about what you're capable of. I'm saying, look back on your life and see, look at one situation or a day or a moment where you were really wonderful, you were very exuberant, joyful, loving, wonderful you were. Just look at that situation. So you're capable of being like that. Make that the baseline of your life, that you don't come below that. Hello? There were other moments when maybe you were a little nasty and horrible to somebody or to yourself, leave those things. Whatever was the most wonderful moment in your life, where you were wonderful, not the situation, make that the standard to be, because you're capable of that. Hello? I'm not asking you to do anything that you're not capable of. You're capable of being like that, Sustainability is the only problem. Hello? It's all about sustainability. You are capable of being joyful, you're capable of being loving, you're capable of being wonderful, but it's intermittent, it fires once in a way. It must fire every moment of your life, hello? Because in your life, if you do not do what you cannot do, there is no problem. But if you do not do what you can do, you're a disaster. Yes or no? What you can do must happen, isn't it? What you cannot do, it's okay. What we cannot do will not happen, it's all right. I'm not asking you to do the impossible. What you're capable of must happen. Many, many times, you have been very wonderful. Hello? Hello, hello? Just make that the standard of your life. What are you waiting for? Because as you're sitting here, I don't know, you came and sat here at 7:30 or 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock. 6 o'clock, don't tell me. Okay, we will count from 8 o'clock because I came at 8 o'clock. Since I came here, both you and me are 1 hour closer to our graves. Hello? Yes, we are. Because what is ticking away is not the clock, what is ticking away is your life. If you are conscious of this, if you are conscious that your time, your life is running away like this. See, in southern India, when somebody dies, we don't say he died. We'll say kalamai tanga. This means his time got over. Perfect, isn't it? Actually, time got over, what else? All that happened is time got over, isn't it? And time gets over for all of us. If you do little inner engineering, we'll teach you how to kick the can a little bit, but still you will die. Yes, it's very important that you should know this. We can teach you how to postpone it a little bit. There is no technique to avoid it. You know this, all of you? No, I just want to check, am I talking to mortal human beings or immortals? Because there is nothing to do with immortals, they're hopeless cases. Once they become immortal, they are absolutely hopeless because you can't talk to them. Hello? Did I hear that Alexander came to Bahrain, is it? Okay. Can I tell you some story about him? Are there any fans of Alexander so that I don't say something that upsets you? No, you're a fan of Alexander? The Great? Okay. Okay, unfortunately, we have done this in the world. We have labeled certain people as great simply because they were conquerors. I don't know personally how many he killed, but people claim personally he could have killed over 15 to 20,000 people, that is with his own sword. Overall, his armies killed nearly 1.5 million people in those days when populations were way below what it is today. Killing 1 million people in those days. In strange lands, you go and simply kill people and say, I've done it, and go to the next land and kill people and say, this is it. Once you make such people great, and your children read in the books that killing is the greatest thing I can do, you have set a wrong direction for the world itself, isn't it? Hello? Because all of you must think about this, because today we are in this phase of… we call this entertainment. You watch any movie, if there is an issue between you and me, as human beings have issues, it's okay. Hello? We have disputes and issues. If I have an issue with you, the best thing is I bash your face up till it becomes like a watermelon. Hello? Yes or no? Every movie is depicting this or no? Or the best thing is, I either cut your throat or shoot you in the head. This is the way to settle every dispute and every issue. Or women, take all the utensils in the house and throw it into the walls. Every television show, every movie is showing this as if this is the way to handle human emotions and relationships. Hello? Everybody has emotions, but there is a civilized and dignified way of handling your emotion. There is a civilized and sensible way of handling our disputes. There is never going to be a world without disputes. Hello? Yes or no? Always. Within the family there are disputes, among people there are disputes, among nations there are disputes. Always there will be disagreements and disputes. But how we conduct it is left to us. If we conduct it in a civilized way, it will lead to solutions. Otherwise, everything is Alexander the Great's way. But anyway, he was so great, but an Indian mosquito, that too a female mosquito, killed him. You know this. He died of malaria on the borders of India. So, however great you are, this is how you end. It doesn't matter how great you think you are, this is how you end. That we die. This is the kind of people we are. We are all dying people, is it okay? Oh, Sadhguru, why are you telling us such things? I'm telling you, if you do not understand that we have a limited amount of time, you will waste this time that we call as life. Yes or no? Doing things that won't matter to you. If you know there is a very limited amount of time, you will do things that really matter to you. And that's important, that in your life you're doing something that genuinely matters to you. Otherwise, you will do all kinds of silly things that don't matter to you. And anyway, I'm just telling you, revealing a secret to you, at the end of your life, there is no container service. No, those of you who have converted your homes into warehouses, I'm just telling you, there is no container service. You come with nothing and go back with nothing, and it's great. At least that's an eco-friendly thing. At least if you have not done anything significant, at least you put this body back into the earth, which is a wonderful thing to do. But unfortunately, that also people are disputing today. Right now, about 2 months ago, somebody started an enterprise in United States where when you die, whenever that is, I bless you with a long life, but when you die, if you pay them $1.7 million right now, they will take your body and leave it in the space. Because there is no oxygen and there is no microbial life there, your body will not rot, it'll be the same way. And your body will float forever and ever out there, till somebody picks it up. We don't know. It's a vast space out there. You want to do this? I'm taking the bookings, $1.7 million. I'm saying, if we don't have any sense in our living, at least in death, we must put this back into the earth because that's where we took it from. Hello? At least this is one eco-friendly thing that everybody can do to enrich the soil. Is that the only thing you'll do? Huh? Is that the only thing you'll do? No. So why this soil became an issue? See, this has happened not because there is some evil force sitting somewhere wanting to destroy planet Earth, nothing like that. Human aspirations, in search of human happiness and well-being, all this damage has happened. Right now the living Earth statistics says, because this has become the ideal, American way of life, United States has become an ideal in many ways because of Hollywood and so many other influences. If all the 8 billion people have to have what an average American citizen has, we need 4.5 planets. But right now we have only half a planet. 52% of the world's topsoil is already gone. With half a planet, if we have that kind of aspirations, well, we're heading for a disaster. But I'm not even here to talk about that. All I'm saying is, do your life whichever way you want. I'm not asking for any lifestyle change, I'm not asking for any food change or dietary changes or anything. Because soil is in such a precarious condition where we are talking about soil extinction. At this point, we don't want to divide the humanity, we need every one of them. People asking me, Sadhguru, you are not fighting the fertilizer company, you are not fighting the pesticide company, weedicide company, herbicide company. No, the only thing I'm fighting is the suicide company. Because right now, it looks like we are on a suicide mission. I'm only against the suicide. Everything else can be handled later, because right now, it's the death of the soil that we are debating. If the soil dies, all the other aspects will be meaningless. Is it even possible that soil can die? Yes, because soil is alive because of microbial life. What does microbial life mean? See, right now 60% of your very body is microbial life, only 40% is the genetic material from your parentage, 60% is other life. Compared in numbers, from the number of human cells you have and the microorganisms that you have, if there is an election, they will win, flat out, because they are 60% population in your body. Because your body and your life right now is a consequence of what is happening beneath your feet. It looks the way it looks, but it's alive. It is the largest living system, not just on the planet, not just in the solar system, in the known universe. The largest living system is the soil or the topsoil of this planet, which is just 15 to 18 inches. This much soil around the world is the basis of life on this planet, just this much soil. 15 to 18 inches of soil contains zillions and zillions of life forms and millions of species. Every year, on an average right now, according to UNFAO, we are losing about 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct per year. At this rate, if we go, in another 30 to 40 years' time, we will reach a point where regenerating the soil will either become extremely difficult or nearly impossible. And once it reaches that point, what will happen to human life on the planet is unimaginable. We don't even want to imagine that because that's going to be terrible. But before that, many things could happen. Right now it is expected, because of soil degeneration, it is expected by 2032, about 3.5 billion people will be water stressed. That means their daily drinking water will be a challenge. Right now already about 1.85 billion people daily are struggling for their daily drinking water already in the world. It will reach 3.5 billion. Because of this, 1 to 1.2 billion people will start migrating, desperate for water. Well, when a billion people move, the amount of suffering that it will cause to individual human beings is another world. Especially women and children will get the worst. Whenever forced migrations happen, whenever unplanned migrations happen, whenever people end up in places where they don't know how to make a living, whenever they don't know the language, they don't have the necessary skills to survive in a given society, women take the worst. So women of the world must stand up and make sure this doesn't happen, because always when forced migrations happen, the worst comes to the women and children. In Sudan, when this war happened, about 260,000 people died. This war is mainly for fertile lands. In this 260,000 people, 50% were children below 6 years of age. 50% of 260,000 who died in a war for land for fertile land, 50% are children below 6 years of age. Because right now already it's evolving in that direction. Last year, the World Food Program has spent $9 billion distributing food. This year, they are desperate to have $15 billion. 2023, they want $22 billion. How long can you go on distributing food like this? People have to grow food where they are. Food must grow where people are. It's very, very important. For that, soil has to stay alive. Soil staying alive means just this, it is alive, rich with microorganisms. To what extent means a handful of soil like this can have 8 to 10 billion organisms, that's how alive it is. If this has to stay alive, they need food. What happened to their food? Because the organic matter which they can consume, that's the only thing they eat. And the organic matter that they need to consume can come from only two sources: plant life and animal life. There is simply no other organic content anywhere in the known universe. There is no organic content anywhere. I'm stressing on this because a whole lot of people think they can print organic matter on their 3D printer. Unfortunately, we've gotten into such states of mind that people think we will print the food. Whatever nonsense you want to do, you still need organic content. Shall I tell you a story? You're getting very serious. It's a serious matter, but it's very important that we stay level-headed and handle this joyfully, because this is our love for life. This is not a protest, this is not an agitation, this is not out of anger or resentment against somebody. This is out of our love for the life that we are and the life that's around us and the life that should be on this planet beyond us. This happened in 2060. When? Hey, come on, how to tell a story to this kind of person? When I say something, once upon a time, what happened? Hello, then we can tell a story. How to tell a story to you? This happened in 2060. So a few scientists sought an appointment with God and they got it. Appropriate sounds must come. And they went there and they told him, "Hey old man, you done pretty well with creation, but everything that you can do, we can also do now, time you retire." God said, "Oh, is that so? What is it that you can do?" They said, "Look at this." And they dug up a little bit of soil, made a vague image of a human child, they did all kinds of stuff, and the child came alive. God looked at this and said, "That's very impressive, but first get your own soil." There is no substitute for soil. Whatever circus you do, there is no substitute for soil. We come from it, we live off it and we go back to it. There is simply no substitute for soil. This 15 to 18 inches of soil that you see as topsoil is the cream of this planet. It has taken thousands of years to make this soil the way it is, for these lives to proliferate and get here. Even in terms of evolution, you have happened only because of this microbial life. Somewhere approximately 1 billion years ago, scientists say, whatever number of years, it doesn't matter, but one day, one very smart algae or a fungi came up with the fantastic idea how to cook food with the perpetual energy of the sun, and started cooking food using the sunlight. This is a phenomena that today we identify as photosynthesis. Before photosynthesis started, The oxygen level in the atmosphere was a shade over 1%. Today it is around 21%. This is why you and me are breathing. You and me are alive right now because of 21% oxygen. Even with a mask on you can breathe because it's 21% oxygen. If it was 1%, you think you and me would be here? So this is a consequence of the photosynthesis. But what has happened to photosynthesis? In the last 1,000 years, we have reduced photosynthesis by 85%. 85%. What's our plan? I think we are on a suicide mission. Hello? So it is not about this side, that side, it's suicide that we need to avoid. It is suicide we need to ban in the world. Because right now it's fashionable, those of you who live in cities everywhere across, especially in western part of America, it's very fashionable. Everybody jumps up and says, organic farming. They never walked on the land, they don't even know how it works. Here we have a wonderful farmer sitting here in the front row. People who worked in the land, they know how back-breaking and heart-breaking it is to work on degenerated soil. People will say, organic farming. Well, I want you to know this. Today, if we get rid of all the fertilizers, pesticides, whatever sides they have, everything, our food production will come down to 25% probably in the next 6 months to 8 months. That is the worst disaster you will unfold on the planet. So let's not talk fanciful things that you don't know. It's best that you don't talk about it. All you know now is that soil is dying and we are killing this because they have no food to eat. Something, a leaf or an animal waste, something needs to go into the soil. There are no animals on the land, there are no trees and plants on the land will die because organisms have nothing to eat, they need organic material to consume. So when we talk about achieving 3 to 6% organic content in the soil, we are just talking about giving a starvation diet for the microorganisms. If you raise the organic content to 8 to 10%, this I'm saying not from data, this I'm saying because we've worked with hundreds and thousands of farmers in the last 27 years. If you raise this to 8 to 10%, your irrigation requirement will come down to 30% of what you're using right now. If you're using 100 liters of water, it'll come down to 30 liters of water because soil's ability to hold water is greatly enhanced once the organic content and the organisms are active. Once they're living, they will make sure there's enough space to absorb water and hold it there. This is the only way the future generations can be safe on this planet, that a minimum of 3%. 3 to 6% is minimum. This much must come. Right now, this whole Save Soil is to push for making that policy. Everybody says, let me roll up my sleeves and I'll go and fix my kitchen garden. That's very cute of you, okay? But it is not a solution. It's not a solution. Solution will happen only when there is a policy in the world because 54% of the earth's land is seriously farmed right now. Another 18 to 20% is partially farmed. So totally 71% of the earth's land is plowed. 4.2% of the earth's land is paved because they are urban regions or urban areas. So totally 76% of the world's land has no photosynthesis. The croplands have photosynthesis for 2 to 4 months in a year, rest of the time they don't have. Urban lands, of course, you can plant a few trees, but you cannot replace all the buildings with trees, that's not a practical solution. Urban lands, you can leave it, you can make it little greener and make it more pleasant, that's about it. But it is the agricultural land which needs to be attended to. It is fashionable right now, I'm sure many of you here also, but it's very fashionable in the world to talk about, let's fix the rainforest. You don't have to fix the rainforest. If you stay out of it, it will stay great. Yes. Let's fix the oceans. This also the same thing. If you reduce the footprint upon the ocean, it'll be fixed. You don't have to do anything about it. 1 year, I'm saying, just 1 year, if human beings don't go out fishing in the ocean, everything will bounce back in a volume that you cannot even imagine. So nature is capable of this, but agricultural land is that piece of geography where every day a human hand is tending to it. And that land is a disaster. Where human beings daily, men and women are working on this land, that land is dying because there is no organic content. Just do one thing. You just look at any satellite images or whatever of agricultural lands across the world. Is there one plant or one animal anywhere? How do you expect it to stay alive? When you plow the land today with machines, 12 to 14 inches deep ploughing is happening, and leave it open to the sun. This is murder of the soil. This is literally murdering the soil. Murdering the soil means the unfortunate reality is in the last 2.5 years, as I'm talking to various agricultural ministries, I realize 85% of the nations still address their soil as an inert material, that they can add a chemical, take out a chemical and fix it. It is the largest living system in the universe, and we refer to it as a resource. I'm saying all of us have fed upon our mother's breast. Do we ever call her a resource, or is she the source of our life? Huh? Are our mothers resource for us, or are they the source of our life? So it is the same, because the soil is the mother of our mothers. Without this, there is no life, and we think we are scientific. If there is no sense, all science will work against us, unfortunately. Hello? If the basic life sense is not there, science and technology will become the worst enemies of humanity because they will work against us. You can take technology and kill yourself, or you can take technology and make something. It all depends whose hands, isn't it? It all depends in whose hands it is. So this is an important moment in our life because we are at that cusp of time that if we act now, as a generation, if we act now and make the necessary policy changes, in the next 10 to 15 years, we can make a significant turnaround. But if we allow this to go for another 30 to 40 years, then it will not be possible to turn this around. This is why you are important, because you are this generation of people, and never before any generation had the empowerment that you have, that here, sitting right here, or sitting in your homes or in your offices, you can reach the entire world. Never before was it possible. We are talking about Gautama the Buddha, a gentle being like that, as great as he was, when he spoke, hardly 10 people could hear it. Yes or no? Today, you can sit at home and speak to the entire world if you are committed and willing. All I'm asking is, are you willing? If you're willing, this many people, nearly 6,000 people sitting here, if you make up your mind, you know that you have a smart friend in your pocket, hello? Huh? Smarter than you? Must be, because unless somebody is smarter than you don't refer to them as smart, isn't it? All right, you have this very smart friend in your pocket. This is a powerhouse. If you use this right, just these people… See, right now, they are telling me the metrics. Since 21st of March, since I started this journey in London, or little before that in Caribbean, nearly a little over 2 billion people could have spoken about the soil aspect. Before that, 4 months ago, the word soil was not heard of. When I started in London, a journalist came to interview me and said, Sadhguru, why are you taking soil? You think the world will respond? It's a most unromantic thing, it's not like you, take up something, save the sky. Soil, why? Well, since then, over 2 billion people have spoken, but that's not enough. I need 3.5 to 4 billion people to speak so that we can compel every nation in the world to make the necessary policy. Just all of you here, 6,000 people, if you make up your mind, you can do that 2 billion. What is it? Your hands will stay busy like this or will you get like this? Hello? Use the skills that you have, use the knowledge that you have, use the technologies that you have and make this happen, because if we don't do this now, in another 20 to 25 years, we will be a very regretful generation. I don't want you to go there, nor do I want to go there, nor do we want our children to go there. Hello? This is our moment. As a generation, what we do. Is sleep a crime? Sleep. Is it a crime? No. But if you sleep through your life, you will become a disaster. And disaster is always worse than a crime. Hello? So let's not sleep through this. I am not asking you to go and fix all the soil on the planet. I am just asking you to raise the voice and keep it up, and I'm giving you a serious discount, 55% discount. When I started in London, I was telling everybody 100 days. Now I'm saying 45 days, 55% discount, you can't say no to me. Hello? Hello? Are you on? Can I treat you as an earth buddy? That means minimum 15 to 20 minutes a day you spend every day consciously spreading the message, not about me, about the soil. This is the important thing, because this is the mother of our mothers. Everybody that we know came out of this. Whether it's a worm or an insect or a tree or a bird or an animal or a man or a woman, everybody came out of this. Yes or no? If we destroy this, we are destroying life on the planet, and this is a crucial moment in our life. Right now, nearly 72, 73 nations have already expressed their intent to make soil policies, which is significant. And I just addressed COP15 in Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire in Africa, and there has been a very positive receptivity out there. 197 nations, including European Union, CARICOM and Commonwealth nations, all of them were represented. If they are also pushing it from UN agencies, but without the people giving a mandate, most nations cannot take those decisions, because most nations in the world today are democratic. What democracy means is, you give them a mandate only for 4 years or 5 years in some nations. So you elect somebody for 4 years and you expect them to do something which will bear results after 15 years? Hello? Unless people give a mandate. Because I must tell you this, there are two facts that you must know. One thing is, not a single nation in the entire world, not a single nation in the entire world has minimum 3% organic content as an average in their soil. The highest we have is 1.48% in Europe, Northern Europe. Southern Europe has 1.1%. United States has 1.25 to 1.3%. Africa has 0.3% as an average. India has 0.68%. This is an unfolding disaster. Not a single nation has minimum 3% organic content. So this has to be made into an incentive-driven policy. Every farmer who gets his field into 3% organic content, he must be given a certain incentive, a financial incentive, because we have reached a place where farming is not something that nobody wants to do. We are going there. In India, 63% of India's population is in farming right now. When we did a certain survey, we found out not even 2% of the farmers in the country want their children to become farmers. Why? Everybody wants to pile up into a city because it is heartbreaking. It is not lucrative to be doing farming. Unless we make it this way in the world, a farmer will earn, if not more, at least as much as an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever other professions which drive people to cities. If we don't do this, the food security of the world will suffer immensely. I'm asking, taking India as an example, in 25 years' time, if only 2% of these people are going into farming, you think you can manage to feed the population? This is true with the entire world. The same is true with the entire world. In some places it may look stark, in some places migrations are already leaving lands empty and walking away. If food was growing on the land, would anybody drag their families through unknown terrain and take them somewhere else? Do you believe that? If the soil was rich and it was possible for them to grow food on their lands, will they take their women and children and drag them through all kinds of places? Nobody will do that. So this migration is a serious issue and the root is soil degeneration. And another important fact you should know is, not in a single nation around the world has ever 60% of the population and stood up and expressed their concern for long-term well-being of the nation or the future of their children. Can you believe this? Not in a single nation. They will talk in tea parties and dinner parties like it's some kind of an entertainment. Ecology and environment has become the biggest entertainment in the world because this is what people discuss in dinner parties and tea parties, and of course they don't do anything about it. So a time has come where 60%, at least 60% of the adult population should stand up and raise their voice and keep it raised. 55% discount for you. 45 days, will you keep the pitch up? If you do this, making the policies happen at the government levels, we are working in various different ways. We will see how this will happen in the next 24 months after this is over. We are working on this to see this should happen. Is this my planet? Let me hear that, huh? This is our planet. This is our planet. We have found 1,000 ways to divide human beings. Oh, in terms of nationality, race, religion, gender, caste, creed, name it, in every possible way, how you and me can confront each other, how you and me can get into conflict. We have found thousands of ways to do this. When, especially now, where the way we are empowered with technology, we have enough power. If we want, we can blow this planet to pieces. We have that kind of power. When we have this, it's extremely important we find some common ground, a common denominator. If you do not understand what is the all-unifying cosmic consciousness, at least you understand all of us come from the same soil, eat of the same soil. When we die, we go back to the same soil, unless you pay $1.7 million to me right now. Hello? You know, can I tell you a story? Shall I tell you a nice story or share my problems with you? Huh? I had a great-grandmother who died at 113, 113 years of age, because she just refused to die. And she had a laughter. If she laughed, the whole street will shake, like that she will laugh. Can any of the ladies laugh like that today? Okay. Those days in the society, women were not supposed to laugh loudly. What a pity. No, I'm not pitying the women, I'm pitying the men. How did they live with women who cannot laugh? How do you live in a home where there is no laughter, I'm asking. But unfortunately it was like that, but this woman, when she laughs, everything will shake, like that she laughs, and she doesn't die. So people said, when I saw her, from my memory, I only know her when she's over 100 years of age. But she was active and alive by herself, and she will do various things. One thing that really kind of impressed upon my mind, one thing is she was a great storyteller. Endless stories. Endless stories means not many. If she starts one story, normally we met her only in the summer vacations, which is 35 to 40 days, we are there in our ancestral home. If she starts a story, the damn thing never ends before the vacation is over. Because the princess will comb her hair like this. As it is going, stories and stories will spill out of this. Before she reaches the end of her hair, our vacation is over. We ask, what is the end, what is the end? No, you come next time. She had the confidence she'll be alive when we come next time. So, I saw her in many ways. One thing that really struck me was, she would live by herself. She built a temple, not with any god, for herself. She sat in the temple, woman. She built a temple and she sits in the temple. So people started gathering around her and she… whatever. People loved her immensely. So when we are all… children are all there in the house, she would come at that time and stay with us. So in the morning, if somebody gives her breakfast, she will go feed the ants, feed the sparrows. There used to be sparrows in the world at that time. And feed the squirrels. More than 50 to 60% of her breakfast would go away like this. And there would be some self-appointed advisors, of course. Even I have some like that. They would be saying, oh, you old woman, you giving away all your food like this, you will die like this. They all died, she did not. So she would be sitting there and the ants are eating her breakfast. She would be watching it, tears flowing down her cheeks. I am like 4.5, 5 years of age, I see the ants. She wouldn't stop me, that is the best part. She's feeding the ants, I'm killing them, she won't stop me. Then I ask, what's the problem with you? Why are you so emotional about these ants? My problem is I'm a little boy, they get up all on my legs and probably you've not had an ant bite for a long time. You must try it. Go stand on one of those places, boom, they come up all and they make you burn, So, I asked her, she would say… she would laugh, a hoot of laughter, and say, you will know someday. It took me over 20 years after that. She passed away at 113 because at 111 years of age, she got throat cancer. When she was 14 years of age, she got married. In India at that time, the culture was, an unmarried girl could not chew tobacco. But the day she gets married, she gets the right to chew tobacco. She exercised her rights on the first day. From the age of 14, she chewed tobacco every day. So at the age of 111, she got throat cancer and she refused to be treated. She did not even take painkillers. She was in enormous pain, this was like this, she was in enormous pain. But she just sat there. She couldn't eat anything for months, she just drank something, some rice gruel which was made very light, she would just sip that and simply sit there. She couldn't speak, this whole thing was swollen like this, but she just sat there. At 113, sitting down, she passed away. So, when I looked at this, she feeding these ants and tears would be flowing and she would be so blissed out just watching the ants eating. It took another 20 years. One day I was just sitting… Anybody familiar with Mysore city? Oh. Namoru Mysuru. So, in Mysore city, there is a hill called Chamundi Hill. Chamundi Hill is a very special place, at least at that time. Today everybody is looking at the screens, but at that time we had to look at the world, you know. So when I was very young, 8–10 years of age, if we want to camp somewhere, we go and camp in Chamundi Hill. We want to do trekking, we go and trek in Chamundi Hill. It was big enough for us when we were little. And then when we grew up, we cycled up Chamundi Hill. Then we motorcycled up Chamundi Hill. We want to test motorcycles, we ride up Chamundi Hill. We want to have a party, we go to Chamundi Hill. If we fall in love, we must go to Chamundi Hill. If you fall out, you have to go to Chamundi Hill. If you have nothing to do, you go to Chamundi Hill. So I was busy with my businesses that I had started. Somewhere in the afternoon, I got an hour-and-a-half break one day. Not even thinking of going there, simply I rode up Chamundi Hill. Because I was so familiar with the hill, I know the hill in and out. So there was one big rock. Today, people have marked it and a lot of people are going there. I parked my motorcycle, climbed up and sat down. My eyes were still open. Suddenly I did not know which is me and which is not me. What was me was just all over the place. I thought this happened for about 5–10 minutes or maybe 10–15 minutes. But when I came back to my normal sense, about 4.5 hours had passed. For the first time in my adult life, tears, me and tears were impossible. Tears, to a point my shirt is all wet. And every cell in my body is dripping ecstasy. Initially, I am a super skeptic. I shake my head and think, what the hell is happening to me? Maybe I'm going off my rocker. Then I ask my closest friend, something is happening to me, I'm just feeling blissed out all the time. I think, come on, what did you drink? What did you pop? Come on, you ate the mushrooms, you did this. I knew there was no context, there was nobody around me to tell me what is happening to me. All I knew was, I have hit a gold mine and I don't want to lose it. So I experimented with this and I realized, if I just keep my hands off my mind, every cell in my body bursts out in ecstasy. I experimented in many different ways, then I found this is it. I thought I have discovered something absolutely fantastic, and I could not imagine who in the world wouldn't want to live blissfully. Hello? Who in the world? Then I sat down and made a plan. I was 25 years of age. I sat down and made a plan. On that day, the world's population was 5.6 billion people. I thought, in 2.5 years' time, I will make these 5.6 billion people really blissful, because who would not want it? See, now it's 40 years. 40 years, look at this. 7 days of the week, 365 days, I've been on and on. People today say we've touched about 2.2, 2.3 billion people in the world. That's not my idea of the world. Today the population is 8 billion. So I know I will die a failure in my life, but a blissed out failure. Yes. So now, at age of 65, much wiser than I was 25, still equally blissful, but now much wiser for safe soil. I am only asking you half the population, 4 billion. Will you make it happen? Let's make it happen, huh? Let's make it happen. In one voice, when I say 1, 2, 3, you say save soil, let us make it happen. 1, 2, 3. Soil, let us make it happen. This is it. Because if people want it, when people want it, it must happen. Hello? The problem is, people have never stood up and said what really matters to them. Always talking about all kinds of nonsense that does not matter. You being a joyful human being, does it matter to you? Please tell me yes or no, otherwise I'll bless you. You being a peaceful human being, does it matter? You being a loving human being, does it matter? The earth that we live on is rich and wonderful, does it matter? We must say a clear yes every day within ourselves and around us, this is important. This is very important. We are shy of saying things that matter to us, lousy things we will talk to each other. Hello? If we get angry, very easily we'll abuse each other. But if we get feel little love, hello? That's what you must speak. Hello? When your heart beats with love, you must speak. If nastiness arises, you must close your eyes and shut your mouth and sit somewhere. Yes or no? Hello? How many times I have to say hello to you in one evening? Huh? But you never asked me what was the story that my grandmother told me. So I will leave it. Okay. So, what's your name? I'm sorry, huh? Rashid. So, Rashid is a wonderful farmer in Bahrain, hard land to work on, but he's doing a good job. So there was a farmer in India, fertile land. He worked hard and expanded his farm. Those days, nobody owned the land, you could cultivate what you could. So he did that and then he got two sons. Both the sons, hard-working, worked with him and they further expanded and they became very well-to-do. So, time passed, time for the father to pass on came. When he was on his deathbed, he told his two sons, because those days there was no culture of dividing the land, only dividing the produce. So he said, whatever grows in our land, always, both of you should take 50% each. Never there should be a dispute between the two brothers. The brothers agreed. So this continued. One brother got married and he had children, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 happened. The other brother never got married, he was alone. But the produce from the farm was divided equally 50-50 because that was the father's intent. They kept to that. Now one day, this man, young man, who was not married, who was alone, in his mind, one worm entered. You know, worms sometime enter your mind? Hello? This worm entered and the worm said, see, you're alone and you get 50% of the produce. Your brother has a wife and 5 children and he gets only 50%. Are you not ashamed? So, he felt bad. He tried to tell his brother, please, I don't need 50%, you take some. The other brother was a very proud man, he said, no, our father said, no matter how much we expand, 50% of the produce is for you, 50% for me, it stays that way, we will not change this. So he felt guilty, I'm alone, what will I do with so much? He has a family, but he won't take it. So what he started doing was, in the nights, when everybody was asleep, he would every day take one bag of grain, carry it on his back, bent, a heavy bag, and from his grainage store, he would take it and put it in his brother's grainage. But within a few days, the same worm got into the other brother's head. And the worm said, see, you have 5 young boys working for you. Your brother has nobody, he's alone. Are you not ashamed? You're taking 50%. And he has nobody who will take care of him in his old age. He has only 50% and you're getting 50%, you have 5 boys who will support you. So, he also thought what to do, the brother won't take it. So in the night, he started carrying a bag and putting it in the other brother's store. This reverse osmosis went on for many years. And one day in their old age, they were still carrying that heavy bag, and in the night the 2 brothers faced each other and they saw each other carrying a bag for the first time after many years. And they realized what was happening, but they turned their faces away, went and finished their job and went back to sleep. They were embarrassed of their generosity and they went quietly to sleep. So then these 2 brothers passed away. The townspeople were looking for a place to build a temple. In India, when we want to build a temple, it's not just about the site, it must have the right energy, right feel, right sense of… it must support that purpose. So they looked everywhere, they couldn't settle on anything. Then they decided, this place where in the middle of the night 2 old men were carrying bags of grain, wanting to put it in the other store, and they looked at each other and they felt embarrassed about their own generosity. They said, this is the best place to build a temple. And they built a temple there. It's time we build a temple like that in our minds and hearts, that we are concerned about somebody else more than ourselves, because in this, life is greatly enhanced. We are concerned about the life that's after us. See, this is not a philosophy I'm trying to teach you. This is not a morality or an ideology that I'm trying to put into you. This doesn't need any religion or ideology or philosophy. It is intrinsic within you. You want your children to live better than you. Hello? That means somewhere in your heart, you want somebody to live better than you. This can just expand to whoever is sitting next to you. Hello? When I already said, see, this is not something that you're not capable of. You want your children to live better than you, so you are capable of looking beyond your well-being at another life. You can add 1 more and 1 more and 1 more, just 8 billion. Hello? It's a limited number. We're not talking about some infinite number. You have computers, you have smartphone, you can calculate what is 8 billion. Yes or no? You can divide, multiply, do permutations, combinations with that. I'm saying you are capable of this. You are capable of looking beyond your immediate well-being and doing something in the world that is worthwhile. Right now, this is not even about generosity, this is about survival. Save soil, let's make it happen. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Bahrain, for the wonderful welcome you've given me. Thank you to all the people, the leaders, Sheikha, the ambassador and many others that I don't know by name. Thank you very much, every one of you, for who you are. And you are a small nation, you are not an agricultural nation, but I'm promising you this, I have never gone back on any promise that I made to anybody. I'm telling you this, all of you. Can you hear me? Hello? Those of you who are running away, can you hear me? I'm saying, if I hear the voice of Bahrain across the world in the next 45 days, within the next 18 to 20 months, I will visit Bahrain and offer a spiritual process to you. How's that? That's a promise I will keep. You must keep yours. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our deepest respects. Normally these events are full of music and celebration, but in absolute respect for the passing of the ruler of Abu Dhabi and the president of UAE, who has been a visionary and leader who's been immensely loved by his people and everywhere around, the incredible thing is, India has declared 1 day of mourning for UAE. This has never happened before. Wonderful. Thank you very much, all of you being here. Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
We love you!
Oh.
Sadhguru, this is on behalf of the National Museum of Bahrain, who would like to thank you. And we would like to invite Sheikha Hala back on stage one more time. Sheikha, tafadhalai, for concluding remarks.
Do I look Arab enough, huh? Come on. I just couldn't fix my headgear.
Sadhguru, thank you very much. It's an absolute honor and pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your inspirational talk. You made so many people inspired and happy, and we will follow. I think a lot of people want to come on stage, especially our volunteers, our great team that supported. Please come on stage and join us for a group photo.
Hello. Yes.
Would you like to sit down?
No, I'm okay.
We'll do it.
So please.
Thank you.
وداع فرح شوق Up to you, Sadhguru.
I'm okay.
Okay, great. Hani, please. This is the Bahrain Authority team, Sadhguru. Oh, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please.
Come, please.
Love you.
45 days.
We would like to thank Devji Jewelers, Kewal Ram, ICICI Bank for their generous sponsorship. On your way out, you will see Save Soil leaflets available. Please feel free to take these and give them to your friends and colleagues. Due to the large number of people here, to avoid congestion when leaving, please use the exit nearest to your seating bay. Bay 1 corresponds to exit 1, Bay B2 to exit 2, Bay Z to exit 26.